I was listening to, the conversation this side and that side, and some of the last 10 years, the central themes and messages are seemingly very similar, right? And I've seen in BITS Pilani, my job has been to get practitioners and professors in a room and make them talk and figure out a way of working together. And the only few, things which I've seen when things really work out, okay, when the academia stops grudging the business value which the industry seeks, and the industry stops grudging the academic value that the institution seeks. And when they talk and start understanding, I can't even imagine an industry doing something if they don't see business value. Frankly, even the so-called long-term investments that you see, there'll be a long-term business value somewhere there in the minds of the people, who would have really done that. So one, business value is something which academia has to think through and then build solutions thinking this is what. In fact, in some of our meetings in BITS Pilani, I start by saying, remember the famous Kennedy quote? Don't think what your country can give it to you, think what you can do for your country. So don't think of what industry can give it to you, first think of what you can give back to the industry. And
they look so happy, all of them look so happy.
And I've seen whenever that happens, it's magic. Today we run almost what we call as work integrated learning programs, about 55,000 working professionals today doing traditional university programs, which we have designed in a manner purely seeking what is the business value of particular industry want. For example, if I take a regular campus program and go to, let's say, an automotive giant, okay, that campus program works for a student who's not decided the sector. But when you go to an automotive giant, they would want a sector-specific, organization-specific program. Can everything be done by my professors? Can the context of each and every, core engineering context would be known by the profs inside? You have to work with the practitioners, with them and then figure out what the magic is. Now, when you do that, the reverse also goes in true. Of course, there are incomes which get created, for the institute that you could really invest in many things of high academic value that the institution wants to do. The same places, the same industry partners, when our profs are teaching in those companies, they are also bringing back the context back to the university. So this whole exchange, of what you can give it to me, what I can give it back to you, if you are able to crack that well. And second, I think the most important thing which I have seen is it cannot be episodic. It has to be long term. In fact, there are two strongest models that we have of collaboration with the industry. One started in 67, which is what we call as practice school. Every undergrad student of BITS Pilani goes for 8 months in the industry. It has not happened overnight. In fact, work integrated learning happened because the industry rewarded us back by saying, if we could mentor your students, why can't you mentor our employees? And we just reversed the model and that became work integrated learning. Similarly, industry research. When you go for industry research, it's very different, from the way research is funded by the government. What is the industry looking at it? I want a new product. I want something which will give me a competitive advantage. Can you, take some of these problem statements at level 3, level 4, there are TRI levels which are there and can augment my capacity. If you have those capacities, I think researchers, if they kind of align their thinking and their interest, magic happens. If they don't have common interest, it will not happen.
It's not going to happen. But, so it's very important thing, which is, and Santosh ji will just take in and then we'll come here. But one, question, I mean, this is a little bit within the context, but so you had academy and industry get into the same room. The same number of people who went in comes out. I mean, the numbers deplete because I don't think it's very easy to have a set of industry and academic people discuss together and try to solve each other's problem for a few hours and the same number of people come out. I think there could be something else, there could be some depletion.
It has to go outside the round tables.
That's what I was saying. Seminars and summits are not going to solve this problem.
Because you'll not have 10 you do an IT industry and academia meet. You'll have 10 IT leaders in the same room and you have the academia here. They can't really discuss deeply. They have to just identify the areas and then have those separate meetings outside.
And Mr. Tandon, another very important thing. What we are here is the top 1% of what represents the real higher education industry in India. let's understand we all come from credible organizations and credible academic institutions. The problem, somebody who's doing a BA, BSc, BCom knows that the person is completing graduation so that there is a social stature and I'll not get anything to do and sell SIM cards. That's where the problem lies. Yes. Tier 2, Tier 3 is suffering the most, and I think in future discussions I'll definitely tell Hemant and others that we should get there. A little bit of Santoshji will come back.
One more point and I'll just end with that.
Sure, sure.
Second is, this when we take examples, okay, and think everything is replicable as is. I think you gave a beautiful example, of in a certain context, a Zudio retail, can we have a BBA integrated? Now this is talking of mass recruitment happening in a retail side. Can we create a business and academic combination? Tomorrow you're doing GCC, doing research. You need 500 good researchers. Work with those institutions, create a similar model and do that.